This is your market recap for November 19th, 2025. As you can see today, we started hitting a little bit of a reversal here, playing off the S&T of this low. If we go down to the 4 hour, you can see we've been working our way down. Yesterday we rounded out, and today we started the bullish move up. It was all, in my opinion, driven by the 1 hour. So if we go down to the 1 hour time frame, we can see here it looks like a little bit of a mess, but what we can see, this is the hourly fair value gap I was talking about at the end of yesterday's video, and then reacted once, twice, came below it, validated it, and then we came up, closed above it. And so I was expecting price to come back down, retrace equilibrium of this bullish move, which I believe I have marked on a lower time frame. Actually, right there. Came down to that, and then shot up high, 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 and then barely swept this high. So we retraced all the way back down, taking out the sell side, but all the while still respecting this 1 hour fair value gap. You'll see on even the 15-minute time frame when we get down to that these lows, the low of this 1 hour fair value gap was being heavily respected, which is what helped me have my bias for this bullish move right here. So again, playing bullish, close outside of the hourly inverse, draw down to it, touch into equilibrium, shoot up, buy side, buy side, buy side, buy side. Don't close above it, so that shows us no desire to continue playing bullish at this point. So we retrace here. You could, if you wanted to play equilibrium, or given that sweep, you could try to aim for something a little lower. In this case, it did come all the way down here. Took out this intermediate sell side right there, as well as the sell side here, which I'm kind of surprised we didn't sweep at the beginning. But price was just moving very strongly from there, so that's why I got in there. And then, like I mentioned, look at how the lows are just respecting the low of this hourly fair value gap so much. And then from here, the 250 to 310 macro helped build this move here up, targeting the low of this fair value gap right here, low of this 15-minute. 5-minute time frame, not much else. We just have this, which is what I framed my trade off of. We had 5-minute fair value gap there, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, rallied up, tapped it once, tapped it twice, all the way down here, came back up, closed above it, and so I was watching and waiting for price to come back down to it before I entered, kind of exactly like yesterday, matter of fact. But this time I was expecting price and allowing price to not hit it. And thankfully so, because it rallied quite a bit. And like I mentioned, from there, even on the 5-minute time frame, you can see price didn't really sweep it and put a body of it above it. Even on the 5-minute time frame, there's a tiny body, but once we did that, we just tipped straight over. So if you were like that, you could play bullish here, bearish here, and then I personally caught this. Well, predicted. I was in class, so I didn't want to risk any capital, but I saw this bullish run here to this buy side. Again, that was framed based off of how price was reacting off this 1 hour low, as well as this being within the macro. So down to the 1-minute time frame, here is the trade that I ended up taking. Again, hourly closure up, down, retraced into this 1 hour inverse fair value gap, touched equilibrium, perfectly came up off of it, changing the state of delivery here. And so with that, I was waiting for price to have an excuse to come retrace down to this 5-minute. We get this big wick down here, which retraces all of this. So in my mind, okay, we don't really have to retrace. So we rallied up, the 5-minute candle closed, the next one opened. It rallied up first, so just in case it was running away, I entered, but it did come back down here, almost tapping into this 5-minute before ripping off, taking buy side, buy side, buy side, and buy side up here. Like I said, from there is actually a really good place to put profits, because once we did that, you can see all volume dies, and we really just start to tip over here. This drive is really driven through from the macro. just coming all the way down to target not only AM session low, but this low over here as well. Swept that, just grouped within this 1 hour fair value gap, inverse fair value, kind of the whole day. Right, I see this as manipulation, sorry, accumulation here with this SMT up here acting as the driving force for that, and then boom, down, manipulation below this low. Once again, even though we took that low, we're very shallow when sweeping it, and we were grouping really nicely with this 1 hour inverse fair value gap low. So got the change in state of delivery here. If I was more aggressive and sure of it, this would be my trade there. The closure of this, I wouldn't even allow. Well, the reason for that is because there's this 1 minute fair value gap here. And the second that I see this close up here, keeping this open, I'm in because, but I still want to allow price to come back down here, which is why my stop is a constant encroachment of this wick. But even if price doesn't come down here, I'm still in, right? So we do that, rally, up, 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 take out buy side, retrace perfectly to equilibrium of this bullish move. What was I doing? I did this in class. I'm not entirely sure where I put it. You can see it's somewhere around here. Somewhere around here. If it's down here, we didn't quite tap it. But I see this is rally. 15 minute? I don't remember where I scaled it. But let's just say it was there. Perfectly retraced down to equilibrium there. Closure perfectly above it. We then rallied. This is another trade I was looking at here. We have 1 minute for value up here, validated down here, boom, validated as an inverse. But since we have that bullish draw and we have this bullish bias based off of this, change in the state of delivery, nice closure at equilibrium, I am looking to play bullish even though we just reacted bearish and creating this an inverse. We then played bullish. The second it closed up here, I put my entry at the low or at the high of this, the lowest barrier to entry, and then put my stop up here. So both of these trades combined, this was a 4-8. This one was a 1-2. Those are both decent. If you wanted to drag it up to this 15-minute fair value, you could, but I personally would just take this high. And then from there, we kind of just return back to the range and let market close, and then NVIDIA earnings were this afternoon after market close, which is what all this is. So yeah, actually pretty decent day today. Kind of loving how price is just running. It's being very, very, very nice and quick. So this has been your market recap for November 19th, 2025.